beauté et luxe. Donc on organise ce webinaire au nom de YPB en collaboration avec la Paris Packaging Week. Et aujourd'hui, on a la chance d'avoir deux intervenants avec nous. Donc on a Juan Campdera que certains connaissent déjà, notamment pour son activité sur LinkedIn, donc qui est partenaire et CEO de Activists. Et nous avons aussi Margot Stuart qui est avec nous et qui est experte en technologie digitale et traçabilité dans le luxe. Donc pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas encore YPB et qui découvrent l'association, on va peut-être passer quelques mots voilà, pour vous expliquer un peu notre organisation. Donc Young Professional in Beauty, donc c'est la première communauté des jeunes professionnels de la beauté. Donc c'est une association qui réunit les jeunes talents de l'industrie autour d'un objectif qui est commun, qui est d'apprendre, de se connecter et du coup construire l'avenir du secteur. Donc pour ce faire, on organise pas mal de choses. Donc on a des conférences en présentiel et en distanciel, donc qui sont ouvertes à la fois à la communauté et du coup aux personnes extérieures voilà, pour générer pas mal d'interactions. On organise des after-work, des événements physiques, et puis bien évidemment, lorsque vous adhérez, on organise des événements qui sont exclusifs à nos adhérents. Et on travaille aussi autour du développement professionnel de nos adhérents. Et donc pour ça, on a un système de mentorat, on organise des apéros RH et aussi des workshops développement professionnel. Donc pour parler un peu de l'association en quelques chiffres, en 2025, on compte plus de 300 adhérents, 330 même adhérents sur l'année 2025. Et sur nos réseaux sociaux, on a plus de 23 000 abonnés. Je pense que peut-être certains connaissent déjà aussi notre activité sur LinkedIn avec les cahiers de tendance, les actus sur les sorties sur leur marché, etc. Donc notre objectif vraiment de véhiculer des valeurs qui sont assez fortes, donc qui sont la transmission, l'ambition, l'entraide, le partage et la passion pour cette industrie de la beauté. Et pour favoriser pardon, les échanges, on anime des groupes WhatsApp avec différentes thématiques et on a aussi un groupe privé sur LinkedIn. Donc, pour parler en quelques mots de la Paris Packaging Week, donc, comme je vous disais, donc, avec YPB, on est partenaire de cet événement. Donc, la Paris Packaging, c'est un salon autour du packaging qui va se dérouler la semaine prochaine, donc le 5 et 6 février, à Port de Versailles. Donc, c'est la 25e édition de ce salon. Et c'est un salon qui prend de plus en plus d'ampleur. On attend plus de 800 exposants, dont l'agence de Juan qui sera aussi présente. Et beaucoup de marques participent en tant que visiteurs, mais aussi en tant que conférents. Parce qu'il y a quand même pas mal de conférences avec des sujets voilà, autour du packaging, autour de la RSE, avec des experts qui viennent parler de différents sujets. Donc c'est un salon qui est une réelle opportunité, donc n'hésitez pas à y participer, parce que nous aussi, YPV, on y sera. Petite information aussi par rapport à ce webinaire, il va se dérouler principalement en anglais, puisque Juan parle espagnol et anglais. Mais si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à les poser, donc soit en anglais, soit en français. On se chargera de faire la traduction pour vous. So let's switch in English, and let me introduce you, so Juan, who will talk about his initiatives. We are activists. Juan, you are mute.
Well, thank you, Letitia. Well, basically, yeah. First of all, thank you to all the team of young professionals of beauty, and yeah, for creating the event and for getting traction and bringing all of you here for today, this season, that we want to speak a little bit about this world of beauty and about this, yeah, well, about all those things that it really triggers and it makes us stay and work every day. And yeah, it's a fantastic event. A bit prior to the Paris Packaging Week will be a great moment also to meet us. So it makes total sense to be here. So yeah, thank you to all of you guys, Letitia, Margot, yeah, good work. And yeah, well, I just start explaining you a little bit what we do. I've been invited to put this focus on the innovative side, to put this focus on the experiential side, from what agencies has. So from what agencies and we are kind of in the starting in one of the corners of the value process or of the value chain of the creating a beauty product. So we are many times in the starting point, and all the industry starts from there, and well, we're not crossing border. No, I present myself a little bit. So if you can pass the slide. But basically, well, I'm Juan Campdera, and most of you may don't know you anything about me, but well, I manage a communication agency specialized on beauty. We've been 20 years on the market, and I like to say that I come from being a product designer, a skater boy as well, with no guess or no idea of what beauty was about. But by chance, nearly, I had the opportunity to start working in beauty products, and I went amazed by all the psychological aspects, sociological aspects, anthropological aspects that the beauty business and the beauty products have with the society and with the people, and that let's say that intellectual part that when I went crazy and I really went in love with all that aspects that build the basis of what a beauty product is. Yeah, we move the slide, and okay, you can pass it. Yeah, basically, and then this thought of beauty as universal, right? As I understood, or as I envision this idea of beauty being part of the being of the society and the users. That was something that it really triggers me, and it helped me to build this business at the end, but focusing always in this user with this user oriented, no, and a vision, not so much in the technical, which also comes later, but very much in the user and in the experiential, in the values, in the emotions, in all that part. You can pass. Basically, then we defined this idea of being an activist on beauty. So someone with it really fights for the rights of beauty and for the rights of the users to be able of getting all the benefits and getting all the what they are expecting from the brands. And yeah, we know I say nice things, but I love this sentence that we want to make customer fall in love with the brands. It's also what we give as value proposition for the customers, no? At the end, for the brands that at the end are the ones that are paying all the work on the agencies, etc. And you can move forward. I give you a brief structure, a brief presentation of the agency before going to some, yeah, let's say some examples to show you a bit what we do. But basically, we are split in several brands or several areas. We have the Beauty Insider, which is here in the corner. That's the consultancy side, where that is where the research, the trends, the forecasting, all the, like, let's say, more or less marketing and sociological stuff comes, where we have this think tank, this beauty think tank. It's the Beauty Insider. Then that moves upper there, where the packaging and the branding companies, which is Activa, which is Act. Then we go more to what like the promotional side, which is culture, and that's basically about social networks, content. It's about influencer. It's about digital stuff. It's one of the areas that is growing a lot. Well, mostly you all are aware of it. And the last bit of we have at the agency, we also have an area focused on the teams, on talent. So it's focused on creating team buildings for beauty company, creating coach, and well, it's executive coach for also for managers, etc. It's very focused on the professionals of beauty, which also are a very big part, a very important part of all the equation, no? And it's something that we also find extremely important, and it's great that most of you, or all of you, are in that scenario. So it's also something cool to have you. And then you can move. It's the wheel, I think now. It's a bit noisy. Well, the emotional side and the experiential side has always been a very important part of what the way we process and way we approach projects. So I want to show you some case studies that, yeah, just to put something that we can chat about, and I can show you a bit the approach of it. So it's not just about trends. Design is not about creativity. It's not about it's not about fancy things. And normally, for me, it's the approach should be very, as I said, customer oriented, and then understanding what are the pain points, what are the gain points of our customer, of our user. And if we find those and we can fix the pain points and give some gains, we want to create a fantastic product for our customers. And that's one of the main focus of the way we approach the things. Let's say here, it's a new launch. It's going to be presented in PCD. It's going to be in Paint Awards, and well, it's for a jewelry brand. It's a small, like, boutique jewelry brand that it's a kind of not startup, but it's a cool indie jewelry brand. It's called Aristocrazy. In Spain, it's more or less well distributed around Europe, but it's, I think, don't know if in France you will find it, but in Spain it's doing good success, or Mediterranean as well. But well, it's a kind of indie jewelry thing. They are very cool because they don't go for hyper high-end jewelry, which is something maybe complex and is for a very small bunch of guys. No, Aristocracy is like not hyper high-end stones, if not lots of beautiful stones, very well worked, but it's mid-range. No, so indie mid-range, affordable for most of the customers, and they've been very successful. Now they went so successful, they wanted to go a new category. They thought, okay, beauty is the way to go. They had some experience on fragrances that wasn't good. They did some years ago. They didn't. They went copying some. At the end, they did something that was working on the market, but was not in the mood of their customers, because they just followed some trends, and the launch wasn't very successful. Then for this new launch, they were kind of a bit worried about, no? And they said, okay, we are very good with stones. We are guys that know how to transmit the texture, the colors, the vibration of the stones. So our brand is very, for us, the most important stuff is the quality of the materials, the stones, and everything. And say, okay, you are telling me very clear. We're gonna go with something that remains a stone. It's a stone alike that has the color grades, the deep, the deepness, all what you can find in a pistol studio, no? But also it's gonna be a bottle, a flacon, no? So it's something with the juice in it. So we're gonna have to do some magic to build these stone-alike bottles, and that's where we mixed the emotional side, where we went for this customer this customer idea to what was able for doing on technology. We went to a very complex printing system. It's a printing system that it can print on 3D surface, but with a specific and very concise patterns and very high-end on resolution. So you can see the real, let's say, patterns or the real texture of the stone. We scanned real stones for getting the close biased image, and then that was printed on these glass bottles with a special, a very complex technique. This solution they managed to do end up with this very soft, very cozy shape, which is for a feminine public. Most of the guys who buying here are millennials. Many Gen Z as well is buying this brand. So it's very comfy and very cool for them. And the launch was this Christmas, and it's been a huge success. The design hit the target very well because the values of the brand were quite rightly applied, and that was the key thing for now. This femininity, this iconicity as well, and talking about what the company really is doing. No, so bringing the values in a new category for the customers. That was the success of this launch. You can move to the next one. This is that's I don't know. Some of you may know from where they come. The Puig Group used to have a bottle of parfums in the 60s that was one of the starters of the growth. Puig Group in the 60s was a very small company in Spain, and they had one fragrance which was called Agua Brava, that had a kind of similar bottle like that. And then, in this year, they wanted to celebrate all those 60 years of celebrating this anniversary, and they asked for a redesign of this iconic old school bottle from the collection. At the end, the key here was that it's gonna be like the corporate bottle for them. It's gonna be like what it really represents, the soul of Puig. So it's not a license. It's not something they pay into another company of like fashion or whatever. That's their own bottles. It's their soul. So it needs to have the logo of the company. And because they wanted it to represent this iconicity of the past and the story they evolved it to, they wanted to be very strong on the authentic side. So from the juices or signature scents to all the materials, they were very, very, very keen on having a huge impact on the quality of them. So they only use sustainable materials, but also sourced from very close by suppliers. So most of I think all of the beads are in a 100 kilometers radius. So they wanted to do this zero km production project, and it was not about the design. It was about a statement of being sustainable, being high quality, being natural material, so it's leather, it's wood. The glass comes from PCR or post-consumer glass, so it's a recycled glass. And also uses all the fragrances are done not with the chemical part. It's by real molecules of scents. Are not chemically processed. No? So it's I think they call it. Well, they have a technical word for them, but juices are also a masterpiece on that launch. And it's the all together bit that wanted to show an exercise of authenticity that even they are not targeting this product to be a hit, and the company is not trying to put it on all the shelves. The company is using this, in fact, is using this as a corporate gift, and they, in most cases, they are just giving to some stakeholders, giving it to influencers, giving it to so they developed a huge project, but just for PR purposes. Okay, but because they are giving the heart and the soul of the company with it. So the innovation here or this experiential side is how you create a product which it keeps with all the sustainable sourcing, chemical, and it's all very, very well developed, but not for selling, if not for representing your soul as a company, you know? And then creating it as a gift for your stakeholders. That's it's not a very common project, but it's well, at the end it resulted as a fantastic one. You can move the next one. Okay, that's a very different project, in fact. So that project it's about repackaging. This Invictus was in the market for already was in the market for like 6 years or something like that when it started fading and it was in need of a repack. No, a repack because we had many customer insights that they all loved the concept of being successful, let's say, and but there was a bit soft. It was a soft successfulness, and this emotional side needed to be reworked on the redesign of the bottle. I bring it here to talk about not aesthetics, if not to talk about values. Success in this category comes from gifting and comes from many times comes from converting or transforming these products in icons of something or some values that people gift. Let's say when a mother or a fiancé gift her boyfriend or someone with an Invictus, it's not gifting it with the scent. It's not gifting it with a toy thing that it looks cool in the boudoir. It's gifting it with the idea and the will that they want him to be successful. They want him to be the winner. It's a power attribute for male, and Invictus is thought in that sense. It's about gifting with iconic attributes, and the exercise was to emphasize that. Then what we do it is we reshape it all the glass, and we did it these strong edges which give them more masculinity, give them a bit of a danger feeling. It gives a kind of the warrior look-alike. And this teeny change from a rounded, soft bottle that a kind of a cup vessel, it was a kind of a cup, more rounded, just blowed the sails. No? And it was not about a very complex visual thing that you can easily understand, but it's about emphasizing this iconicity on what we are gifting, no? And what the experience of the guy who is and the people who is buying it is having, and it's something nearly transparent to the eye, but not to the senses. Okay, you can move to the next one. That's a very cool launch. We prepared 2 winters ago, but it's been launched this year, and I bring it here because well, it's a makeup, well, it's a in between makeup and skincare thing, like 5 SKUs, like typical well, markers and well. But I bring it because it's a new phenomenon, no, and it's something that it represents very clearly what is going on nowadays, no. That brand, it's a brand from an influencer. She has 25 years and she has 20 million followers on YouTube. And she represents a teenager Arab community, and she's very well known. She's very funny, and yeah, does it very, very well on social. And she asked for a brand. When you have an influencer that asks for a brand, it's a very they own the channel, the communication channel. They don't have the brand, they don't have the, let's say, the heritage, they don't have the quality. They can show much more than they name, and that's what we did. No, you need in a brand that it's new, that comes from zero, that maybe has a very good communication. Yeah, it's very broad, but you need to show it, and then you need to create some iconicity so the followers can understand easily what they're looking for. So she's called Narines, then the brand should be called Narines. We should write the name as big as we could. So in social, in yeah, YouTube, all the digital channels, even in retail when it arrives, it's very easy to identify which is the brand of our loved follower, our loved influencer. Also, because she is called by the followers like rabbit or something like that. We invented this hair, a kind of two hairs like rabbit hairs, but also it looks like a hair. Well, a bit of a graphic game that also represents some of the, let's say, some of the values that the influencer has. And the skincare pieces are well developed, the chemistry is good, everything is good, but the important bit here was to make it very, very widely recognizable, because you know how many launches are done every year, that Sephora's and all the retailers are flooded of that, and you need some graphic or something that makes very easy stand out and makes it easy for the follower in that case to recognize what it is. And I bring it for that. It's been a heavy success because every time she speaks on TikTok and says something about the lip gloss, 2,000 lip gloss goals, but even that it needs to have a very heavy visibility. If not, new brands struggle a lot. They struggle a lot on retail. Brands need a lot of space for reading, a lot of helping the customer identify, basically. And sometimes we don't realize that. And we do something very minimalistic, very beautiful, and no one will notice us. Yeah. So that's a new exercise. Okay, that's also a category I love a lot. An example, a kind of a very mass-produced example. That's for rituals. Rituals is a huge retailer, and the challenge for rituals and the innovation that they need to face is not about aesthetics, and it's not about, okay, let's do something different that we haven't come yet with it, which it also is, because it needs some novelty. Anything which is not new, it doesn't sell. So you need always to be new. But ritual has a huge trouble, and it's copywriting. Rituals it gets copied by all these bazaar-like shops. So all these bazaar shops, all of them, they just do the cheap version of what maybe Rituals or Zara Home or all those kind of companies do. And that's one of the biggest problems I find. So when we design this kind of assets, innovation comes because we prepare some of the on the engineering on some of the design features, we create stuff that gets patented as a usability, as a shape, get patented, and we can create some legal frame that makes that products cannot be exactly copied. And if someone does it, Rituals has all the teams and all the lawyer teams to go for them and take the stuff out of the market. So for them, Rituals that do a lot of home care, they go with this minimalistic stuff. The innovation comes on, hey, Juan and your team, find something that can be patented on the design, something that it's key, then also it's beautiful and that's the briefing, but something that can be patented. If not, we are facing trouble because everyone is going to copy it, and then our product is going to get just underestimated. And that's a very cool exercise, in fact. And it's some exercise that sometimes we don't take care of it, and we just do beautiful things, but we don't look how do we work against those guys that they just copy stuff, and big companies need a lot of that. So yeah, for us it's a great innovation, and we are very proud of finding this kind of teeny things, because that makes lots of business. And yeah, I think that we're finishing. I bring it, that one is an old project I love. And also I'm heavy user of the fragrances. I love the brand, and yeah, it's one of I have a very good memories on them. Now they stopped doing them, and well, the challenge here was, yeah, okay, we are doing this concrete juice. It's very urban, asphalt-like. It's a cool exercise of fine fragrance, and Com always love to be very bold on the minimal and bold, because yeah, but they want to be kind of shocking, no, with the product. They have the Pebble bottle; it's a standard for them, but they personalize in each of the launches. Was concrete here, as you can see, the innovation was to find someone to work with a supplier that can reproduce the concrete finish on a glass bottle, which is also quite complex. And when you see it, it's amazing. No, it looks concrete, but it's not heavy, or it's heavy as glass, and that's the trick. So good, and it really matches the vision and the value proposition of Campdera, so which is to be an uncommon object. They want to be the uncommon object. No? They want they want to transgress, and they want to blow the mind a little bit of the customer. So concrete did very well as an exercise on the fragrance side, but also on the finishing, and also finding this glass bottle transformed as a concrete. And it was thanks just to the innovation and pushing the boundaries of suppliers, and and being simple but strong on technique. And basically I'm here, I think, on the examples. Let can move forward. Yeah, basically just our team. We're not a huge company, but we are a 20, 30, it depends of the season people company. Okay, you can base it. We're base it. We mostly work for all the big players. We now are also working very well in Middle East and India and places like that, which is very cool. Also super inspiring for us. And well, we just thank you. We can yeah, be in touch. Just drop me messages, or I'll look for one of the mails. We have headquarters are in Barcelona, but also we have some delegate in Paris and in Dubai. And well, yeah, yeah, happy to wait for questions or whatever when we finish the second round, and that Letitia will put order with us. Yeah? Thank you to all of you.
Yes, so thank you, Juan. So yes, if you have any question, you can start to write on the chat, and we'll take the time after Margot's parts to take the time to review them. So now let's introduce Margot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone for being on the call. Thank you to the young professionals in beauty for inviting me, and of course to the Paris Packaging Week organizers. We We were prompted to bring forward some of the finalists of the Paris Packaging Week, and I couldn't choose one, so I put them all because I just thought you all deserve to be seen, and I also thought it aligns very well with what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. I'm going to take just a few minutes to give you a bit of context, introduce myself and the company and the initiative that we've co-created, and then I will mainly talk to you about digital product passports, because we believe from all the industry collaboration that we've been through that this is the best way to bring to life not only all the different technologies that are out there that allows for product transparency, storytelling, and consumer engagement down the line. So that's a little bit what I'll be talking to you about today. So my name's Margot Stuart. I am the co-founder of a technology company called Original. We're based in Switzerland. Je parle français. In Prévrange in the canton of Vaud. And I've been working with my co-founders for close to 15 years, but I'm not getting any younger, and it's been close to 20 years that I've been working in product traceability, product identification, authenticity, and verification. And we've done that through large bodies, not always the most glamorous projects, but that have had a high impact and which were very scalable through Interpol, the World Customs Organization, today with the African Continental Free Trade Area. So catering to law enforcement, governments, and brands. And maybe we can go to the next slide. And the way we do, or the work we do, and the platforms we develop are all around aggregation. So we never compete or disrupt what security technologies or traceability technologies do. We aggregate, we bring them together for greater transparency. So our core technology, like I said, doesn't compete, doesn't replace existing systems. We solve, or we try to solve, one of the biggest challenges that the industries face today, which is fragmentation. Data exists in so many different ways and in so many different places. One of the big challenges is bringing all this data together in a harmonized way. We can go to the next slide. So about 3 years ago, I was invited to speak on a panel about technology for good, and I hit it off with my moderator, who is a Professor Felicitas Morhart. She's a professor of luxury marketing at the University of Lausanne. And we decided, how can we leverage our strengths for the luxury industry, which was her world. And this is how Original Luxury was born. So it's a public-private initiative led by academia that brings together all stakeholders in the luxury value chain. We are not limited to watches and jewelry, but we have a strong I would say a strong pull from this industry, but we have stakeholders from all categories, including cosmetics, of course, including fragrances, including food, beverage, automotive, and even packaging. So interestingly enough. And we do this by bringing together our luxury stakeholders and technology partners. To date, we work with 28 different technology partners who, I would say, in the industry compete with one another, but through Original Luxury join in the spirit of co-petition and collaboration, which makes that our discussions, engagements, whether it's through our luxury roundtables or our publications, are conducive to a lot of insights that would not be shared elsewhere. Can go to the next slide. So today, I would like to speak to you about digital product passports, because this is really one of the tangible outputs and outcomes of our initiative, where all our tech partners and our brands have kind of come together to agree that this was something that was going to happen. Not only because the regulatory frameworks are pushing towards this, but also because consumers, I think I'm not teaching you anything here, slowly but surely are expecting proof rather than just promises from their brands. Supply chains and packaging materials have become very complex for traditional documentation, and having again this place of aggregation makes a lot of sense. DPPs are shifting from being a competitive advantage to a baseline requirement. It's a no-brainer today. And so we've tapped into our academics and have asked them if this made sense. And it seems that today, there too, when you look at what's being published, what research has been bringing up, traceability, authenticity, and storytelling are three pillars of trust in luxury. And Digital Product Passport connect these three dimensions, making origin, meaning, and ethics visible to the consumer. So we then went and looked what was the industry saying, and that was a very clear, there was a very clear alignment, whether it's Bain that shows that sustainability and transparency influence purchasing decisions for over 70% of luxury consumers. Deloitte equally confirms that DPPs will become mandatory by 2030. While also acting as a strategic tool for engagement and resale. And we are great believers of this secondhand market when it comes to collectible items, of course. So the question is no longer if, but how effectively brands will implement these digital product passports. And that we've been challenging our technology partners to try and go beyond technologies made by engineers for engineers, but really pushing them to go towards consumer engagement, emotional experiences, and really touching the consumers so that they actually use these DPPs to strengthen their brand, strengthen their loyalty, and so forth. So we've had a really, sorry, there's a, no, you can go ahead. I'm just noticing that there's something missing on this slide. There's supposed to be a nice logo from Platinum Guild International. So we wanted to proof check a little bit where we were going with our platform, and we actually got the mandate from PGI, Platinum Guild International, which is the authority of marketing for all jewelry made out of platinum. And they went out and did a poll with over 1,300 consumers willing to pay over $1,000 yearly for a piece of jewelry. And they presented the exact same ring, one with a digital product passport and one without. And the results were just spoke for themselves. So as you can see, the numbers, trust was increased 93% when the piece of jewelry was presented with a digital product passport. The idea of wanting to actually purchase that, the intent of wanting to purchase grew and was of 79%. And of course, the feeling of having of perception of increased value was of 83%. But I think for brand owners, what's the most important is the smallest number, but one that's very telling, where on average, people were ready to pay 9.6% more for a piece of jewelry, the exact same one, with a digital product passport. And that validates the idea that the digital product passport becomes a financial asset for the brand and not a liability because it's simply a compliance tool. Can go to the next one. So when we're talking digital product passport, this is just to give you an illustration of the one we developed with our stakeholders. It's built on a dual layer. We have what we call generic layer, which is only publicly available information where you can post any storytelling element. It starts at the manufacturer, and then the retailer can build on the DPP additional storytelling information about the product, including packaging information, of course, maintenance information, ESG initiatives, anything that they wish to share with their customers. And then if you are the owner of a piece of jewelry, when you open the DPP in your wallet, you then get what we call specific data, which is information that is strictly concerned that one unique piece of jewelry. And in this case, we are showcasing a gold ring with 5 diamonds, and each diamond has its own GIA certificate. So that's the grading certificate. And you can go on the Tracer blockchain and see the traceability elements for each of the 5 diamonds, from rough, so when it comes out of the mine, all the way to when it's being cut and then polished and then set into the ring. Okay. And we're very proud to be developing the next phase, which is the Proveros auditable trail, allowing for immutable, chronologically and immutable data to be stored in the DPP. Again, we're not a blockchain technology as itself. We integrate with the different technology platforms. We don't believe in locking, whether you're the supplier or the retailer, in a technology prison and being completely dependent of a unique solution. This is usually very dangerous and can be very costly for an industry when that happens. And we can give you examples of tobacco, pharma, and other industries that we know very well. What we're really trying to do here is to give a freedom to everyone to use whatever technology they wish, and to be able to simply aggregate it so that all the information can be there for the consumer. We're also now working on a B2B DPP that would allow precious stones and precious metals, for example, to be fully traceable and then injected in the B2C DPP. So this is just a reminder of what a DPP can bring when you go beyond just compliance and just giving raw data. You can also use it to promote yourself, show the events that you're curating. You can upload news. You can indefinitely enhance your DPP even after the point of sale, so that you can constantly interact and promote yourself with your customers. And most importantly, your customer, the day they decide to resell their piece of jewelry, you as the retailer don't lose control of who is that next owner, and you can start engaging with your next customer, which today you probably don't have any channel to reach. So I think this slide speaks for itself, but just a reminder that it's really important to keep the brand autonomy, that you all have your own values, your own DNA, and that's really important that a DPP can be and has to be able to echo that. Consumers don't respond well, and we have quite a few examples of technologies where what's being given as information, okay, but getting textile, cotton, XYZ doesn't help the consumer connect with its piece of, with its garment or shirt. We need to be telling real stories, uploading beautiful videos. I mean, Juan made compelling examples in his presentation of all the work, the inspiration that goes behind just the curation of packaging. And it just shows how integral part of the luxury experience this is. And I think it's not communicated often enough to the consumer to really understand. But when we open a little blue box or a beautiful red box from Cartier, well, these are things today we would like to be able to make sure we can tell this story to the next generation. And I think having a digital vault where you have all this storytelling encapsulated has a lot of value. So just to make the link with packaging, but I think Juan made my job really easy by giving all these examples. But of course, the packaging is the way to go from the physical to the digital world. It's very often the entry point. And so hence again, how important this is. You made the point also about counterfeiting. You didn't name it as such, but when it comes to IP rights, but we live in a highly counterfeit world. Being able to put crypto keys, unique identifiers, authenticators does serve a purpose, same as being able to protect the IP through patents and other licenses. And like Juan just explained again, that the packaging really becomes part of the story, part of the experience. We've seen enough unboxing also videos online that just show how important all of this is. We truly believe there is a lot to capture there when it comes to consumer engagement. And then, of course, there's the whole element that comes back a little bit to compliance, but can also be the feel-good element for the consumer when it comes to being able to make a responsible purchase and knowing that maybe there is a resell, repurpose, or recycle element to it. I was on the prep call for the panel we'll be having next week at the Paris Packaging Week, and people I was talking with some, I can name them since they're all public now. So La Prairie, Moët Hennessy, ID Genève, and they were all talking about refills, how this is still a difficult thing in the consumer mindset when it comes to luxury components. I thought it was really interesting, but maybe if you could capture the value of the packaging in cosmetics through a beautiful bottle, people might, if they know they've got the story, they might not be so hesitant then to just refill it and not have to buy it again and again and again. And this is just a kind of summary of what I've just spoken about. You can, of course, Margot and Laetitia, if you want to share the presentation, for me, it's absolutely okay. But again, just the value of DPPs, I think you're in the packaging world, you're at a very interesting intersection when it comes to storytelling and the consumer experience. And you can use these QR codes if you want to download the app and just play around with some DPPs and see what the latest jewelry and jewelers are doing. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you a lot, Margot. I think that we learned a lot about the DPP. So thank you. So we have 5 minutes for questions. So don't hesitate to, I don't know if you can raise your hand or write on the chat. I think that we have a question for Philippe. Philippe, if you want to speak, or let me know if I need to read your question. Well, I will read. So Philip is asking, as we see IA generating fake content every minute, why not using the blockchain to secure authentic contents?
So I guess I can take that question.
Yes.
It's a great question. Thank you for asking it. So again, of course, blockchain plays a huge role in being able to secure elements of a product. In the case of jewelry, we've not yet come across one blockchain solution that can secure the whole part of a piece of jewelry. Jewelry is made of precious metals, sometimes several different ones. It can be made with pearls, it can be emeralds, it can be sapphires, it can be diamonds, it can be semi-precious. We've not come across, there exists numerous blockchain technologies that can secure, who are expert in diamonds or expert in emeralds or even in pearl traceability, but we've not yet come across one that can do it all. So that's again why we are proposing a platform where we can aggregate, and also we would not recommend that the whole jewelry sector adopts only one unique technology. Again, the technology prison is a huge risk. The dependency on a unique solution is a big risk for supply chains, and we prefer giving freedom also in terms of cost efficiency. Not every player produces the same amount of jewelry, for example. So there needs to be some flexibility, and a lot of technologies today can provide very valuable security at certain points in the value chain.
Okay, and I think it's raising a question on the dupe trend, because for the beauty industry, we see a lot of dupe coming on the markets. So I don't know, Juan, if you get also some inquiries from brands to create some dupes on your side, but how we can cope around this trend, because I think it's,
Well,
it's a huge
dupes,
topic today.
dupes is a fashion topic. Yeah, it's fine. And dupes, they've been on the market for like many years. It's not something new. It's also something that varies a lot from the, let's say, it's a cultural stuff. So it's not the same in the fragrance world. Let's say European fragrances or like fine fragrances, but we know what fine fragrance is not the same here than in Middle East or in India or well, basically in those areas are very different. They have a very different approach. So the dupes concept, it comes a lot from the Middle East and Arab fragrances, but they don't, let's say, they come from a culture where they put the value on the scent or on the ingredient. So they have, each brand has their oud or their bergamot or their jasmine or they have their option of a specific scent quite well developed around it. In fine fragrances, what we do is another world. And what happened? These both worlds with globalization has collided, and then they start copying many of those, and they start doing, oh, my version of Baccarat Rouge, or my version of blah blah blah, and then social networks amplify that. That's what we all are seeing, no? So young foxes saying, oh, this dupe of blah, blah, blah is even better than the original, and sales going crazy and stuff like that. Well, we have to think as brands, because we are professionals here. And if we think as a brand, dupes are dangerous, but not exactly dangerous. Let's say, if you are selling a dupe in €5 or €20, probably if you have a niche fragrance that is €200 or €300, the customer who is buying the $20 one is not your real customer. If you are thinking in a marketing-oriented way, so companies have understood that, and they also using it. So they allow, in a way, the dupes to be. So a younger generation gets used to the brand, get used to the sense, get used to what it means, but in fact is not ready for to be the perfect match customer, because the perfect match customer will take a bit of time on growing and having the acquisition, the power, the money power to buy this, and that's why we see that the dupes are growing. If not, they won't be, because they will be persecuted, all of them. And Margot has something to say about that.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying. I just want to give a different perspective, one that's maybe not brand friendly, but where with dupes, so having been in the anti-counterfeiting world for so long, unfortunately, it's how are they made? They are made in unprotected, deregulated environments. And so the risk for there's no labor protection, there is no ethical regulation or oversight. And these people never think of as consumers. They think, yay, I'm going to get my $5 Ray-Bans at the beach. And this is so cool because I'll look cool and it's okay because I'm only here for 5 days and then I can throw them out. But what no one's thinking is in what conditions were these Ray-Bans manufactured? And this is a huge ethical question, and one where, and Juan, you were saying yes, but because it doesn't impede on actually the market of the brand, because it's not truly, they're just aspirational consumers, the brands let it go. I would love to be able to make a call up to action to the brands to say, you have a responsibility, educate your customers, tell them maybe be aspirational, but don't buy the fix, don't buy the dupes
the brands are doing it. The brands are on it, and I was what I wanted to just finish on it is I'm seeing good. Let's say not good dupes, but I'm seeing good proposals on the market. For example, there is a French brand which is called Dossier. They're doing dupes, but they're not saying they are dupes. They are doing trends. They are doing fine fragrance trends. So if some specific gourmand fragrance is hitting hard, they do their version of it. And then they don't say this is a dupe. No, it's a well-manufactured product in Europe, keeping all regulations. So dupes are evolving in a more clever way to be okay. It's in a mastiche scenario. They're moving more. Okay, and I can be prestige. I can be with $200 or 200 euros bottle, but I have a target for 40 euros that wants something similar. My interpretation of that, let's say, and then that's a good positioning that it's starting. I'm seeing some good, some brands that they are doing very clever and working very clever on that set, and it's very good news because the kind of dupes you're talking is like the ultra low cost African and some markets that they are very low on income, and they just producing products in a quite even dangerous way, no? So you are absolutely right. But the mood's still there, and the need is still there. And there are options to do it. I've seen good options and some good initiatives and some European ones as well.
I think that we have a question from Miranda.
Oh, you're on mute.
Can't hear you. No, so maybe write on the chat if it is easier for you.
It will be the last question because we are unfortunately running out of time, but we gave you a QR code and a link if you want to join the Paris Packaging Week next week. We'll be very happy to continue the conversation there.
So Miranda's question is, so how do you manage to imagine new packaging that is different and has a whole different meaning than the first one without losing the essence of the product and emotional attachment that the customer may have to it?
Okay, well, I can go with it. I'm quite fast. I'm quite hectic in this matter. I know about heritage, and I know I'm talking with people that is very used to heritage. I know the French market. But normally, the way I approach that, I target the new segment of customers the repack is focused to. So I discuss it a lot, for example, with L'Oreal team, with Angel, Thierry Mugler Angel, the star-shaped bottle, because they wanted to keep it as there is. And I tell them always, okay, it's a 20-year-old bottle. It's very cool, but you're not gonna catch young customers with it. You need to repack it, but they don't want it because they want to keep their brand, but the brand is not succeeding. Okay. So my take on it is you should focus your target. Junior target. If you have a brand, hyper heritage, hyper huge story, whatever, but you now want to target Gen Z or some specific customers, you need to understand their values and their pain points and their gain points, and then repack thinking on them and leave the heritage as a second lecture. Because if not, you are not going to be truly focused on your target. And then the target will say, oh, yeah, you tried to selling me the stuff of my grandmother again, or the stuff of my mother. And then it's not going to succeed. And I've been that exercise and I fight it a lot for that exercise. And some companies are more reluctant to that and some other, but my approach is always face the customer.
Well, thank you, Juan. Thank you, Margot, for for sharing with us all your know-how. So now we know a little bit more on the process to creating a custom packaging for a brand, and also about the DDP side. So thank you a lot. We'll see you next week during the Paris Packaging Week. So we will share with you to you all of the presentation, of course. And yes, don't hesitate to come to the trade show so we can continue on the discussion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
See you in Paris.
See you, Paella.
Bye bye.
Thank you.